Hey. Okay. My name is Laura. I'm your teacher. You already know I'm your teacher. Anyways, today we're gonna be learning about Oceanography 101, okay? This is like this is like the best thing to learn about, you know? And I'm your favorite teacher, so we know it's gonna be a blast. You're gonna have to do a worksheet and it's due in like 20 minutes, no later than that. You only get like 5 minutes because they do not take that long. All right. So make sure you take notes while we're doing this. Take them fast. Anyways, so this is what we're gonna be going over. We're gonna be going over. I have like the slides, like what slide everything is on right here, but we're going to be going over waves, like are they transversal or longitudinal, um, the type of waves in the ocean and how they're formed, and like wave patterns in the ocean. We're going to do descriptions of them, so like the anatomy, you'll learn about that in a minute. We're going to do like the timing of the wave speed. So there's going to be some vocabulary in here, and I'm gonna explain the types of waves and the difference between them, like electromagnetic versus mechanical waves, and like longitudinal versus transversal. And we're also gonna learn about the electromagnetic spectrum, like the types of waves that are in it and how that energy relates to like the wavelength and the frequency and the medium. Sorry. And also the last, we're going to learn about constructive and deconstructive interference, and like the relationship between interference, superposition, and like examples and like explanations of Renaissance. So first, the anatomy of waves. So the crest right here, I have like a diagram. This is a wave, and the crest is where the wave is at its maximum positive displacement from the equilibrium. Basically means like right here. It's always going to be the top part of the wave right here. And the opposite of that is the trough, which is where the wave is at its maximum negative displacement. So it's always going to be right there, like at the bottom. And then right here it's gonna be the length. The wavelength is like the length of a full cycle, so basically the length from like one trough to the other. And the amplitude is the center point of the pendulum um that it moves away from. So like right here, like that, like from the line in the middle, like the length from the line in the middle to the top to the crest basically. The types of waves that there are transversal, and transversal there's like water waves, and there's longitudinal. Those have like sound waves, and like the comparison is that transversal makes like the medium move perpendicular, so like that way kind of, and the longitudinal makes it move parallel, so like that way, like parallel direction of the wave. And wave timing, this is like all wave timing, wave speed, and like electromagnetic versus mechanical waves right here. Um, so the electromagnetic waves travel at the speed, um, and magnetic wave and mechanical. Oh my God, this is supposed to say mechanical. I messed that up. That's supposed to say mechanical. Mechanical waves, they need matter to transfer energy. um, so the wave speed, the relationship to wavelength and frequency. So basically, frequency is gonna be like this. So like the wavelength, the wave. So if it's like more like that, like going up and down super fast and like heck of them, then that means the frequency is higher. Um, that it's higher because it's going super fast and like whatever. But if it's more spaced out like that and slower, that means it's gonna be lower, the frequency. because it's more like spaced out. And the period, that's like how long it takes for one cycle to happen. So like so let's say one wave happens in like 5 seconds. So that's 5 seconds is the period, like how long it took for that one wave to happen or cycle, whatever. And the relationship you can see is in the equation. So time equals 1 over f. Time is the period. So how long it takes for it to happen, that equals 1 over frequency, which is like how, like, is it higher or lower? The types of waves in the ocean, um, like there's wind waves, and those are formed because the friction between of the wind and the surface water. So like the winds could like the surface water of the ocean, the winds can like blow on it, and like all these waves are created in the ocean because the wind is like pushing the water, making it go like that. And wind surges are formed when the water is being pushed towards the shore. So like by the wind, so like the wind will blow like the shore is over here. So the wind, if it blows this way, the water is going to be pushed towards the shore. So that makes wind surges. And sea waves are formed when energy passes through the water, which makes it in a circular motion. That's kind of what I talked about with the wind surges. Like if the wind is blowing that way, then the water is kind of gonna go like this because it's being pushed upwards, and then it's gonna fall down to the floor again. So that makes a wave, an ocean wave, or sea wave. Sorry. The the patterns in the ocean, um, the patterns in the ocean occur like when there's like a new pattern in the vibration, or just a pattern in the vibration that's created within a medium. So like waves, there's a pattern when it vibrates. Like there's just a pattern when the wind blows this way, then the waves are gonna go that way, you know what I mean? Then the electromagnetic spectrum, there's 7 types of waves in there. One of them is radio waves, and radio waves has a lot to do with like radiation and stuff. Um, Radiation, the frequencies are low because the frequencies are more spaced out, so they're lower. And then you have also microwaves. That also has to do with radiation as well. Microwaves, infrared waves, visible light, ultra violet waves, X-rays, and gamma rays. Those are all the 7 types of waves in the electromagnetic spectrum. And like each of them, you could see some of them have shorter wavelengths and higher frequencies. Some of them have higher or longer wavelengths and shorter frequencies. It just depends, like which one. The medium is like it spreads waves and energy. So like how do I say it? So like in a wave, the medium is what like it's gonna spread the wave and the energy. So the medium kind of controls in a way the frequency and like the period of like the whole thing, the whole wave. Um, constructed Constructive interference. That's when 2 waves in a phase are added together. So like if you have a wave that's like this and like an exact same one, once you add those together, it's like simple math. It's gonna make it like, since those two were both spaced out, it's gonna make them a little bit more close together, which is gonna bring up the frequency. Um, and deconstructive interference is when a positive displacement is canceled by a negative one. So basically, just like if you have a spaced out one and you have another one, but instead that one cancels it out, so it makes it like nothing kind of. So it's destructive because that's like negative. The relationship between interference and superstition. So sorry. So superstition is like a combination of 2 waves, while constructive interference is like 2 identical waves that are like spread to make a new wave. So that's kind of like constructive interference. It's like they're two of the same ones, but just added together to make a whole new one. And superstition is more like the combination of two, while constructive interference is like more adding to. So like the different like the relationship is that they're both kind of the same, because they're both kind of adding and like creating to make a new one, but except I mean they're both just kind of adding, but except constructive interference makes like a new one, but it makes it from those two that were added together, if that makes sense. Renaissance is when the amplitude increases. So if we go back over here, you could see like this is the amplitude. So it's just like once when the wavelength or when the amplitude goes, like when this is a little higher, like if the crest was like right here, then the amplitude would also increase, like from there to there. And an example is like a person like pushing another person on a swing because you're controlling it. So you're gonna, like, if you push it further one time and then the other time you push it even more further, the amplitude is gonna increase because you're also increasing the wavelength and the frequency in the period. So it's gonna increase. Now we're gonna get started on the worksheet, okay? And I want you to finish it in 5 minutes. I'll explain to you a little bit. So this is the crest. Oh, you're gonna do vocabulary. You're just gonna write the vocabulary that you found that's in the slides. So the crest, the amplitude, the wavelength, the trough, the period, and the frequency. You're just gonna write like the definition for them, and then I have these two questions, which you can find in the notes. So I want to do by in 5 minutes. I want to do in 5 minutes because I'll give you 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You know what? I'll do the end of the period just because I'm so nice. But if it's not turned in, we're gonna have problems. Okay? Okay. I'm just kidding. Okay. I'm done. Yeah, I didn't say. I'm gonna be your TA next year, Miss Grant. I'm being for real. Hopefully they let me. I told my counselor, and she said yeah, but I don't know. So hopefully they let me. Have a great summer, Miss Grant.